Hi, welcome. Simon here. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll be replacing a screen on an iPhone 11. As you can see that the screen is cracked on the top. And let's go ahead and get started. First, turning off the phone. This is the iPhone 11 regular, not the Pro. The first step is to remove the two screws right next to the charging port. I'll be using a Pentalobe P2. This is the 0.8, that little star looking thing, 0.8. Because you're dealing with broken screen, my strong suggestion is that you must wear the safety goggle. Protect your eyes at all times. You do not want any broken glass that fly into your eyes and whatnot. So safety first at always. The next is to use the metal prying tool. This is the to get in between the glass and the phone like such. You do not want to stick it all the way in. Just enough to go ahead and cut the adhesive. As you can see that the tip of the metal prying tool, right about this much, is more than enough to go ahead and cut the adhesive. Let me lay the phone down and I'm just going to run across the phone around the side of the screen. Okay, at this point you just want to open up the phone to the right, flip it to the right side of it while holding it at 90-degree angle. Go ahead and grab, this is the Y screwdriver, that's 0.6. It looks like this. Okay, 0.6. Now some of you may say like, hey, do I need to disconnect the battery? The answer is recommended, so please go ahead and do so. But for my case, I'm just going to leave it on. One last step of removing the screws and one last step of possibility getting things things break. So I'm not too sure. Some of you guys may agree with me, some of you disagree. Majority of the viewer would say like, oh, I did not disconnect the battery. So the battery is right here. Technically you need to disconnect the battery first in order to disconnect the LCD screen. And again, if you're going to do that, you'll probably find out that it is hard to get in between because as the screen being connected like such. So let's just say that the cable is connected. Okay, and the bracket is here. And imagine you want to go and remove the tiny little screw right there. There's one screw right underneath the flex cable. It's hard for you to see it, but the flex, there's a tiny screw right here on the top. So it is difficult to get in, and sometimes to try to get in, you make it worse by damaging the new screen cable. So I'll leave it on the battery, and that's what I chose to do. Okay, so disconnect 3 flex cable, 1, 2, and 3. Come on, the camera is not focusing. Okay, so I disconnect 3, 1, 2, and 3 cables. The next is to transfer the front speaker and the front camera, not the front, the proximity sensor, over to the new screen. And this is the new screen. I'll be using a Y screwdriver, that's 0.6. Remove the tiny screw here. Oops, that was my mistake. I wasn't holding it tight enough and the thing slide. So there are 3 Phillips screws that you need to remove. 1, 2, and 3. I'll be using the 1.5 Phillips screw. Once I've removed that, I kind of flip it down here. So the next step is to go underneath that flex cable and you try to well, it depends on how you want to do it. You can remove everything including the bracket, which is this one here I'm referring to. This is the bracket, or you can just remove the proximity sensor alone by itself. And if you also notice that this right here needs to be reinstalled, is there some kind of a grounding piece right here, so put it on the side. So for my case, it looks like everything is going to come right off very easily. But if you feel like removing together with the bracket is easier for you, you should do that. Okay, this is the new screen. Go ahead and transfer everything over. So that metal piece right there has to be clipped onto the top. Once it's in, I'm just going to close it down and put the 3 screws back together, the Phillips. That screw is a bit stripped, so I need to use a different screwdriver. That is the PH00. Okay, let's reconnect everything back together. So for the flex cable, when you install it, they're just kind of like Lego. You need to position them in the right place so that when you press it in, it should just very gently goes in on its own. You don't really have to force it to go in. So if you're forcing it to go in, that means it is not in the right position. So nothing to be pressed or forced to get in. It's just a gently push. That should be enough. You might be wondering, I'm going to make sure that my phone still works because I did not disconnect the battery. In just a second, you're going to see that the phone will work. Everything should be back to normal. Okay, to close it down, align the one on the top first. Push it all the way in. And then press it down on the side. Turning on the phone. Apple comes on. Pentalope P2. Okay. Alright, as you can see that the phone is back, it's turning on, things are working. There you go. So it is okay to leave the battery on, but I'm not trying to be proud here to keep saying that. I just, just wanted to, I know there are some people who say you must turn off. It is recommended to disconnect the battery, but if you happen not to do it, that's fine. But anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye now.